Good morning students, I am PR Chagule. In the last lecture of operating system, we discussed the various basic concepts related with operating system, that is what is the exactly operating system is, what are the examples, means what are the different types of operating systems available in market. Then we will discuss what operating system do actually. Then we learn the different components present in our computer system. Then we learn the views of operating system. There are mainly two views. First one is the user view and second one is the system view. Then we discuss the various functions that are performed by the operating system. Now in this lecture we learn the different types of operating system. Operating system are mainly classified into or mainly divided into two types. First one is the single user operating system and second one is the multi-user operating system. First we will see what is single user operating system, in which only one user can take the advantage of the various features embedded in it. For example, MS, DOS, Windows, etc. Means in this operating system it has features limited to a single user only. Means single user operating system does not utilize the facility of a network. If it has to be installed on every individual machine, then it provides limited facilities. For example, MS, DOS and Windows operating system. Means in short, the single user operating system provides the features for that particular single user only. Means which user access that particular operating system, that user only take advantage of that particular operating system. The examples of single user operating system are MS DOS and Windows operating system. MS DOS means Microsoft Disk Operating System. Disk operating system is the single user operating system. Next type of operating system is multi-user operating system, in which multiple users can take advantage of features embedded in it. Means it has features designed for the multiple users. Means multi-user operating system, it takes the advantage of network. In multi-user operating system, multiple users can be created in such a operating system. Means every created user will have their own username and password, and the number and the data of one user is secured from another user. For example, these example of multi-users operating system are Windows XP, Windows 7, Linux operating system, Unix operating system, etc. Means in multi-user operating system, the multiple users can take the advantage of the features embedded in that particular operating system. Means the multiple users can access the facilities provided by that particular operating system. But in the case of multi-user operating system, the multi-user operating system provides the authentication mechanism. In that authentication mechanism, the user creates their different account on that particular operating system, and by using the user ID and a password, they can gain access for that particular operating system. The examples of these operating systems are Windows XP, Windows 7, Linux, Unix, etc. You can take the example of your computer system or your operating system. Means in your labs, in your college labs, there are number of PCs, and one PC can be used by multiple users or multiple students. Then at that time, multiple students can create their own accounts on that particular operating system. Means our college Windows 7 or Windows 10 operating systems are the multi-user operating system. Means in multi-user operating system, the number of multiple users can access the particular operating system or can take the advantage of the features embedded on that particular operating system. Then we will learn the different types of multi-user operating systems that are classified. First one is the batch operating system. Second, multi-programming operating system. Next, time sharing operating system. Next, multi-processor operating system. Next one is the distributed operating system, and last one is the real-time operating system. These all are the types of multi-user operating system. Multi-user operating systems are sub-classified into these all the types. Then let us see one by one these operating systems. First one is the batch operating system. In early days, punch cards were used to record the user's job. In last decades, there are the punch cards, and that punch cards were used for recording the user's job or recording the user's operation. But that was a manual and tedious job which is done by the human operator, but that is not the effective way for storing the user's data. To avoid the continuous human operators deviation, the concept of batch processing grew. For avoiding the continuous human operation deviation, means the punch cards are handled by the human operator, and for avoiding that particular condition, the batch processing concept arises or batch operating system arises. A batch stands for a sequence of user jobs. A batch means a group of users operations or a group of users job. In this type of operating system, the job sequence was decided by an operator. Means a batch means a group of job. Consider your batches in class. In your classes there are different batches, and each batch there are number of students. Same way in batch operating system, in a particular one batch there are different jobs, different users job, different users processes, and that processes sequence means which user or which task is executed first, which task executed last. This sequence is created by that particular operator. And in batch operating system, the jobs were recognized with the special markers where indicating the start and the end of the job. And in batch processing system, there is an concept of marker, and marker denotes the start of a job and end of a job. And in batch processing systems, the job were submitted to the batch sorry, in the batch operating system, the jobs were submitted to the batch processing system, that is BPS, and then those were executed automatically without any operator interruptions. Means in batch operating systems, the user's tasks are first submitted to the batch processing system, that is BPS, and then that jobs or the user's tasks are automatically executed without an human operator. And after execution of a job, it was sent to that particular user who owns it. And after executing a particular process, after execution of particular job, that results are passed to that particular owner of that particular job. Means in batch operating system, each job was an independent job in a batch, and this was transition from execution of job to that of the next job of the same batch. Means in short, after executing a one job or one user process, the transmission goes to the next job or the next process in that particular batch. Means consider the example of your batch in submission period. While in submission time, there is an batch wise submission is there, and that time after submission of particular roll number 1, then faculty will take the roll number 2. In this way, until the batch completed, until the last student of that particular batch, the submission taking place, and after completing one batch, next batch is taken for the processing. Same way in batch operating system, after executing all the jobs in a one batch, the control will transfer to the next batch. This is all about the batch operating system. In batch operating system, a batch monitor or a supervisor was the major component which is permanently placed in the part of the memory of batch operating system. Means in batch operating system, there is an one monitor or the supervisor, and that monitor is called as batch monitor. The different functions that are provided by the batch monitor, that are scheduling, memory management, and sharing and protection. These three functions performed by the batch monitor. First one is the scheduling. Scheduling means what? Planning. Scheduling is the activity of determining which service request should be handled next by the servants. Means scheduling in the batch operating system means it is an activity for determining, after executing one job or one task, which job or which process is going to be taken place for next to the processing or next for the execution. This is scheduling. Next, memory management. During the batch processing operations, memory is required, and that memory is divided into two parts called as system area and user area. And last function of batch monitor is sharing and protection. Means these are the major functions which operating system provides for the purpose of multi-user operating system. Means when multiple user can access the operating system, then at that time there should be some security, and that security is provided by sharing and protection function. Means in batch monitor there is an one major component, in batch operating system there is an one major component, that is batch monitor, and that batch monitor means that supervisor, there is an one supervisor in batch operating system, that supervisor that batch monitor performs the three jobs, that are scheduling, memory management and sharing and protection. This is the example of batch operating system. Here is an operator. Operator means batch monitor or the supervisor who keeps the different user jobs in a different batches, and that batches are passed to the computer for processing, and after executing one batch the computer takes another batch for processing. This is batch operating system. Next, there are different advantages and disadvantages of batch operating system. First, it is very difficult to guess the time required by any job to complete. Next advantage, multiple users can share the batch systems, means multiple users can access the same batch system. Next, it is easy to manage large work repeatedly in batch system. Next, disadvantages, lack of interaction between the user and the job. Next, CPU is often idle because the speed of mechanical I/O devices is slower than the CPU. This is the main drawback of the batch operating system. Means in batch operating system there is, and sometime the CPU is idle, CPU remains in idle state. Last disadvantage is difficult to provide the desired priority, because here the job sequence is decided by the owner. So, it is difficult to provide the desired priority. Next one is the multi-programming operating system. Multi-programming is the ability to execute multiple programs at the same time on a single processor machine. We know the batch operating system. In batch operating system, one job or one task is executed at a time in that particular batch. But in multi-programming operating system, here multiple programs can execute at the same time on a single processor. By using one CPU, the multiple applications, multiple processes, multiple programs can be executed simultaneously. Here, one or more programs reside in the memory which are ready to execute. In multi-programming operating system, there is one memory area. On that particular memory area, there are different programs are resides, and that programs are ready for execution. And from that memory, the processor or the CPU takes the task for execution. The CPU can execute only one instruction at a time. If the currently executing process performs I/O operation or waiting for I/O, then operating system may interrupt that process and gives the control to another process residing in the main memory. But in multi-programming operating system, there is an CPU is one, only one, there is only one CPU, and in that CPU one instruction or the one process is executed at a time. But when one process is going to be executed in that particular processor, but there is an one situation that if that process having any input output device, then at that time that process is going for the waiting, or that process is going to be interrupted, and the control will be transferred from the for the next instruction or the next task which is ready to execute and which resides in the main memory. The main aim of multiprogramming is to make CPU busy until as there are processes waiting to execute. Means there is a drawback of batch operating system, means there is an means in that operating system there is an condition, means in that condition CPU remains idle or CPU remains free for some time. But the main aim of multiprogramming is that to make the processor or to make the CPU busy until as there are processes waiting to execute. Means if any process gets interrupted or any process gets aborted, then at that time the CPU or the processor takes the another process for the execution. Means here CPU utilization is more as compared to batch operating system. Here is an example of multiple operating system. Means here is an operating system area. Here processes are going to be executed, and here are the memory user area. Here are the memory user area in which different jobs are stored. The jobs are passed to the operating system for the execution. Means consider the example of when job 1 is going for the execution in the operating system. After completing job 1 or after completion of job 1, the control passes to the job 2 and job 2 is going for the execution. This process is going on. But suppose while executing a job 3, while the job 3 is executed in operating system, at that time if job 3 wants some IO device, for example job 3 wants the printer, but printer is that time the printer is not available, that printer is held by some another process in operating system, then at that time the process that at that time the job 3 is going for waiting condition or job 3 is interrupted, and in multiprogramming operating system job 4 is taken for the processing. In this way the execution of the different processes is going on the multiprogramming operating system. There are advantages and disadvantages of operating system, multiprogramming operating system, that are, first we will see advantages of multiprogramming operating system. It provides high and efficient CPU utilization. It provides the more CPU utilization. Next, user feels that many programs are allocated CPU almost simultaneously. Means here multiple programs are executed simultaneously. Next, disadvantage, CPU scheduling is required. Here in multiprogramming operating system, CPU scheduling is mostly or it compulsory required. To accommodate many jobs in memory, memory management is also required. For storing the different jobs of user or for storing the different tasks of the user, the memory management is also required. Next one is the multitasking operating system. Multitasking operating system. Multitasking is the logical extension of multi-programming. Multitasking is an extension of multi-programming operating system. Multitasking means it contains two words. Multi means multiple and task means job. Means here multiple jobs. A user to perform more than one computer task at a time. Means the multitasking is an operating system is allowing a user to perform more than one computer task, such as the operation of an application program at a time. The Microsoft Windows 2000, IBM's OS 390 and Linux are the example of operating systems that can do multitasking operation. Means consider this example. In this example, when you open your web browser, means when you open your web browser and then open Word, at the same time you are causing the operating system to do multitasking. Means almost all of today's operating system are multitasking operating system. Means in this multitasking, the multiple user tasks are executed simultaneously. In short, multitasking term is used in a modern computer system. Multitasking is an logical extension of a multi-programming system that supports multiple programs to run concurrently or multiple programs to run simultaneously. And in multitasking operating system, the more than one task is executed at a same time. In this technique, multiple tasks, also called as process, and they shares the common resources such as CPU. Means here in this example, the multiple users task can be handled by the operating system and can be given for the single resource as a CPU and can given for the processor. This is all about multitasking operating system. Simply, it is an extension of the multi-programming operating system. Then next we will see the advantages and disadvantages of multitasking operating system. Advantages: high and efficient CPU utilization. Here CPU utilization is better as compared to multi-programming operating system. Next, user feels that many programs are allocated to CPU almost simultaneously. Next, drawbacks: CPU scheduling is required. Here also the scheduler or the CPU scheduling concept is required. Then next, to accommodate many jobs in memory management is required. These are the advantages and disadvantages of the multitasking operating system. Next concept is the time shared operating system. Time sharing is a technique which enables many people located at various terminals to use a particular computer system at the same time. And time sharing is a logical extension of multi-programming and multitasking. Means in time shared operating system, the time is managed properly for multiple users in an interactive manner and at an reasonable cost. The main principle used by time sharing operating system where CPU scheduling and multiprogramming to provide each user with a small portion of a total time shared. And each user has a separate program in a memory. And that time slice is in millisecond. Means the time shared operating system is an extension of the multitasking or the multiprogramming operating system. But the main principle behind the time shared operating system is the time shared operating system, the multiple users, the multiple peoples located at various terminals. For example, consider a network, and that all users access the computer system or access the operating system at the same time. But in time shared operating system, that all users, that all peoples have some time slice, and within that particular time slice, within that particular time, the users perform their job. Means time shared means here the time is shared among the multiple persons. Means consider if and 20 millisecond is an total time of CPU, then when a network contains 4 people, the 4 users, then each user can get the 5 milliseconds for execution of their job. Means by using the shared time, the users executes their job in time shared operating system. The name itself suggests time shared means time is shared among multiple users. Hence, in this operating system type, the time is shared among multiple users. And by using that shared time, the users can easily execute their job. This is an time shared operating system. Here, if n users are present, if there are n users, then each user can get a time quantum. Time quantum means a time slice, a particular time period means time quantum. When the user submits a command, then response time is in few seconds at most. Means if any user wants to execute a task on a computer, then within a particular time period, the response of a time for execution of that particular job is given for the user. And in a time sharing system, there is a large computer to which a number of terminals are connected as shown in the figure. Consider this is an example of time sharing operating system where there is a large processor, large computer in which the number of processes gets executed. In time shared operating system, it is a technique in which enables many peoples located at various terminals to use a particular computer system at the same time. Means here user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, user 5, user 6. These are the all 6 users located at the various location in a network. They can access the same computer or the same processor at a time. But in time shared operating system, a particular time is shared among multiple users, and within that particular time only the user must execute their task. Means here currently the user 5 executes their job. This is an time quantum or time slice in which the user wants to process their jobs. Here time is shared among the multiple users, and within that particular time slice or the time quantum, the user must execute their job. Here total 6 users are there, 6 users having a CPU time, same CPU time is shared among the multiple users, and by using that time the user executes their job. This is time shared operating system. There are some advantages and disadvantages of this operating system. First we will see what are the advantages. First advantage, provides the advantages of quick response, means here multiple operations are executed simultaneously, so response speed is high. Next, avoids duplication of software. There is no duplication occur in this time sharing in this operating system. This reduces a CPU idle time. See here CPU utilization is very high. Next we will see what are the drawbacks, what are the disadvantages of this operating system. Problem of reliability. There is no stable, no reliable condition. Next, question of security. There is a major problem of security. Next, there is a problem about communication. These are the advantages and disadvantages of time shared operating system. There is a major drawback in time shared operating system, that is there is no security for the execution of different processes as well as for the communication. Next one is the multiprocessor operating systems. Multiprocessor, multi means many, multiple and processor. There are two words combined, multi means multiple processor. Multiprocessing is the use of two or more central processing unit, that is CPU, within a single computer system which shares the system bus, clock, memory and other resources. Means in multiprocessor operating system there are two or more than two CPUs are present in a single computer system and they can share all its resources. Means in multiprocessor operating system there are multiple processors that are built within a single computer, and that processors shares all the hardware resources of that particular computer. Multiprocessors are increasing in importance nowadays. These systems have multiple processors working in a parallel that share the computer clock, memory, bus, peripheral devices, etc. These all the I/O devices shared by the multiple processors. These computer devices are common for the all processors that are built in that particular operating system. In short, in multiprocessor operating system, the multiple processors or the multiple CPUs are within a single computer system. So, it is also called as parallel system or tightly coupled system, because in parallel manner, in simultaneously the number of processes are executed in number of processors. The main advantage of multiprocessor system is to get maximum work in shorter period. This is an main advantage of multiprocessor operating system. Means here response time is very higher, response time is very fast. Means within a short period, a CPU can execute the processes, because there are n number of processors that are within a single computer. Means each processor, means consider there are 10 instructions given by a user, then and if that particular computer have a 2 processors, then each processor gets 5 jobs and executes that particular job. So here at a time 5 jobs are executed, so response is very fast. So multiprocessor operating system is get maximum work in a shorter period, because multiple processors divides the work is divided into multiple processors. So here maximum work is divided into shorter period. Here is an multiprocessing architecture is shown, where there is an computer where multiple CPUs, means multiple processes are put together into a single computer. Means here CPU 1, 2, 3, 4. Consider there are 4 processors, and that all 4 processors are put together into a single computer system, and that all processors shares the computer resources as a memory. Means the computer's total memory is shared among a multiple processors. This is multiprocessor operating system. There are 2 types of multiprocessor operating system. First one is the asymmetric multiprocessor and second one is the symmetric multiprocessor. Asymmetric multiprocessor, also called as master-slave architecture or master-slave configuration. In this system, each processor is given a predefined task. There is a master processor that gives instruction to all the other processors. A symmetric multiprocessor system contains a master-slave relationship. Means like your network client-server architecture, the same client-server architecture is followed by the asymmetric multiprocessor system. Means here is an master means server and slave means clients. Suppose master is nothing but your server and slaves are nothing but your clients. Then at this type, asymmetric multiprocessor type, there is an one master processor and all users jobs or users processes are given to the master processor, means master CPU, and then that CPU divides the different processes to the different CPU for the execution, and after execution that CPU passes the result to the master CPU, and then that master CPU processes or gives the result to the users. Means in this asymmetric multiprocessor type, this type is also called as master-slave configuration. Means master is nothing but your server and slave are nothing but your clients. And in this architecture, there is an one master processor, master CPU, and all the users jobs, all the users processes are given for this master CPU, and then master CPU divides the jobs or the processes for the execution to different CPU. This is asymmetric multiprocessing. Then next one is the asymmetric multiprocessor. In these types of systems, each processor contains a similar copy of the operating system and they all communicate with each other. All the processors are not in a master-slave relationship. Here there is a no master-slave relationship. Means each processor contains a similar copy of OS and they communicate with each other. This is multiprocessor operating system. There are some advantages and disadvantages of multiprocessor operating system. Advantages: this is a more reliable system as compared to multiprogramming or multitasking operating system. Next, enhanced throughput. Here CPU utilization is more, so response time is high, or high workload is divided into number of processors, so it provides the very fastly output. Next, more economic system. It is very economical or it is very user friendly. Next, disadvantages: increased expense for costing the different processors. There is an costing for different processors, so here expenses, it is an very expensive. Next, complicated operating system required. Next, large memory is required because here memory is shared among multiple processors. Computer's memory is shared among multiple CPUs, so here large memory is required. These are the examples of real-time operating system. Next one is the real-time operating system. The real-time operating system is used for a real-time applications. Means for those applications where data processing should be done in the fixed and a small quantum of time. Real-time operating system. Real-time means the application which are used in real time. In that application, the real-time operating systems are used. Means real-time system means that the system is subjected to real time. Means the applications, those processes the real time's data, and the data processing should be done in a fixed and a small quantum of time. That applications uses the real time, means RTOS operating system. That is, response should be guaranteed within a specified timing constraint, specified timing condition, or system should meet the specific deadline. For example, flight control system. In flight control system, the real-time operating system is used. Or in real-time monitors or in satellite, the real-time operating systems are used. Because real-time operating systems are very fast and quick respondent system. In short, real-time operating system is used by real-time applications. We will discuss the examples in next slide. So you will get an idea that is what is actually real-time operating system is. There are two different types of real-time operating systems, that are hard real-time system and soft real-time system. In hard real-time system, this type of system can never miss its deadline. Means this system never breaks its deadline. It guaranteeing that critical tasks be completed within their period. For example, flight controller system means in hard real time system, हार्ड रिअल टाईम सिस्टीम जी काही सिस्टीम आहे ही असे ॲप्लिकेशन्स ही सिस्टीम यूज करतात की ज्या ॲप्लिकेशन्सना त्यांचे टास्क विदिन अ पर्टिक्युलर टाईम किंवा डेडलाईन मिस न होता कंप्लीट करायचे असतात. फॉर एक्झाम्पल फ्लाईट कंट्रोलर सिस्टीम, जी फ्लाईट कंट्रोलर सिस्टीम आहे इथं काय करायला लागतं, क्लायमेट किंवा टेम्परेचर किंवा जे काही एन्व्हायरमेंट असतं फ्लाईटसाठी ते एन्व्हायरमेंट बघून त्यांचं जे काही प्रॉपर शेड्युलिंग झालेलं असतं की कुठली फ्लाईट कधी पास झाली पाहिजे, कुठं पास झाली पाहिजे, कुठल्या पिरियडला कुठल्या लोकेशनला पोचली पाहिजे, तिथून ती फ्लाईट परत कधी आली पाहिजे किंवा नवीन कुठली फ्लाईट तिथं परत जाणार आहे याचं जे काही शेड्युलिंग असतं फ्लाईट कंट्रोलर सिस्टीममध्ये ते शेड्युलिंग प्रॉपर वेनी काय व्हायला लागतं, फॉलो व्हायला लागतं. म्हणजे आत्ताची फ्लाईट ही अनेक तासानं पाठवतो असं म्हणून चालणार नाही आपल्याला, इथं पर्टिक्युलर डेडलाईन असणार आहे ती टास्क कंप्लीट होण्यासाठी. अशा ॲप्लिकेशन्समध्ये हार्ड रिअल टाईम ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टीम काय केली जाते, यूज केली जाते. म्हणजे आपल्याला इथं असं म्हटलं नाही आम्ही ही फ्लाईट 1 तास नंतर सोडतो असं म्हणून चालणार नाही आहे. हे म्हणजे काय असणार आहे, हार्ड रिअल टाईम सिस्टीम. नेक्स्ट असणार आहे सॉफ्ट रिअल टाईम सिस्टीम. दिस टाईप ऑफ सिस्टीम कॅन मीट्स इट्स डेडलाईन. फॉर सम टाईम दिस टाईप ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टीम मीट्स इट्स डेडलाईन. मीन्स रिअल टाईम टास्क विल गेट प्रायोरिटी ओव्हर अदर टास्क. मीन्स ह्या सॉफ्ट रिअल टाईम ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टीममध्ये एखाद्या कंडिशनला एखाद्या सिच्युएशनला त्याच्यापेक्षा एखाद्या हायर प्रायोरिटीची टास्क आली, हायर प्रायोरिटीची प्रोसेस जर आली तर आत्ताची प्रोसेस स्टॉप करून आत्ता आलेल्या नवीन प्रोसेसला काय दिली जाते, प्रायोरिटी दिली जाते. ती टास्क पहिल्यांदा काय केली जाते, कंप्लीट केली जाते. फॉर एक्झाम्पल टेलिफोन स्विचेस, राउटर्स ही जे काही असतात ते सॉफ्ट रिअल टाईम सिस्टीम काय करतात, फॉलो करतात. म्हणजे राउटर वगैरे एखादा नेटवर्कमध्ये प्रॉब्लेम आला तर तो प्रॉब्लेम रिझॉल्व करतात आणि मग परत काय करतात, दुसरा कम्युनिकेशनसाठी पाथ अवेलेबल करून देतात. म्हणजे हे सॉफ्ट रिअल टाईम सिस्टीम. Here are the some examples of real-time operating system. In satellite, simulations, industrial control, military applications, flight control system. In these all applications, the real-time operating systems are used. Consider the another example of real-time system is sensor based traffic light control system. Sensor based traffic light controller system. You may see that application on a road. In this type of system, sensors calculate the data of each direction traffic, and depending upon the traffic, the signal is opened till the complete traffic has been passed. And if the traffic is very less, then signal is opened for very less time. And if the traffic is more, then the signal is opened for more time in that particular direction. Means ट्रॅफिक लाईट कंट्रोल सिस्टीमचं एक्झाम्पल करा की ह्या ॲप्लिकेशनमध्ये इथं काय करतात, सेन्सर्स 4 वेनी ट्रॅफिक येत असतं, तिथं मध्ये काय असतं, ट्रॅफिक कंट्रोलर सिस्टीम असतं. तर ट्रॅफिक कंट्रोलरचा सेन्सर काय कॅल्क्युलेट करतो, प्रत्येक डिरेक्शननी येणारं ट्रॅफिक आणि त्या ट्रॅफिकवरून तो डिसाईड करतो की कुठल्या डिरेक्शनला आपल्याला सिग्नल द्यायचं आहे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल एखाद्या रोडकडून एखाद्या डिरेक्शनकडून येणार ट्रॅफिक खूप लेस असेल, खूप कमी ट्रॅफिक आहे, तर त्यावेळी तो सिग्नल तिथं कमी वेळापुरता लागणार आहे. आणि समजा एखाद्या डिरेक्शनकडून येणार ट्रॅफिक खूप हाय आहे, तर त्या डिरेक्शनला तो सिग्नल थोड्या जास्त टाईम पुरता काय असणार आहे, ओपन असणार आहे. दिस इज ऑल अबाउट रिअल टाईम ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टीम. Next, last type of operating system is the distributed operating system. The name itself suggests distributed means here a number of computers have to be connected to one another by a link, enabling electronic transfer, a data transfer and sharing of data among various computers. Means here, instead of centralized computer system with centralized application, data or control, we have a number of computers with a distributed application data or control of this. For means here multiple computers are distributed in a network, and that all computers are connected via a network link, and by electronic transfer and by electronic data transfer or data sharing, all the computers are communicates with each other. For example, in distributed system, one computer may capture, store and process the data required for a payroll application. For example, consider the example of payroll application. In payroll application, suppose one computer may capture or store or processes the required data for the payroll application. Then another one computer may capture, store, process the data for purchasing application and so on. Means in this way the individual separate system or the separate computer performs the different application. So here processing is very effectively, processing is done very effectively or very fastly in a network. There are two types of distributed system. First one is the horizontal distributed operating system and vertical distributed operating system. Means in distributed operating system, various autonomous interconnected computers communicate with each other using a shared communication network. By using a shared communication network, the different computers gets connected to each other, and each independent system processes their own memory unit and CPU, and each independent computer system have its own memory, its own storage, its own processor, etc. And all independent computers performs their different applications tasks. Means in this example, here one computer performs one application, then another computer performs the another one application, then next computer performs third one application. In this way, all the network computers which are distributed and which are connected via a shared communication network, that computers executes the different users applications in individual manner. Means one computer stores the data of payroll applications, then this computer stores the data for the purchase application, this computer stores the data about accounting application, etc. This is distributed operating system, and here are the advantages and disadvantages of distributed operating system. Means by using distributed operating system, load on a host computers reduces. Means separate individual one computer performs one task, so here load on a computers is reduces. but there is one main drawback, that is failure of the main network will stop the entire communication. Means failure of a central communication network can stop the entire communication among in a distributed environment. Thank you.